Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Fraser Field for Catholic Central League Baseball. Two undefeateds. Bishop Stang, a long trip from Midwest here in Massachusetts. Took them probably a couple hours to get here in the middle of the day. That's not easy. They're 4-0, Bishop Stang. St. Mary's 2-0. Under Coach Derek Dana. First pitch hit solidly to second base. Jaden Driscoll over Newhall. One pitch went out. That was Harry Tingley Prince. Grounding out second and first. So one pitch went out. The Doney family. Josh on the mound. Kyle behind the plate. I've been with them for a long time. Josh is a senior, I think. Kyle's a junior. Second pitch hit. Great catch in right field. Nate Moniz hit that a ton. And Maxwell Parent going back from home plate over the shoulder made a one-handed grab. So we got two pitches, two outs. Outstanding play in right field by Maxwell Parent. But the Doneys, I did their games when they won what used to be the Little League tournament in Salem. It stopped many years ago, but they were involved. So I've had them through Little League, through high school, and they've had great careers. Josh is looking for his second win. He shut out Milton in their first game. Up and away for a ball. Drew Taylor, we finally got a couple of pitches. The first two batters hit the first pitch. Hit foul to the backstop. And it kind of goes 1-2. We don't have the scoreboard today. Jimmy Belleville's usually here announcing and running the scoreboard. Doing a very good job. Curveball just broke inside, tucked out of the way, Taylor. Taylor is the left fielder for Stang. Nothing but blue skies, bright sunshine. Hit out in front. Tony helps himself. Just a little tapper. Tucked away, got a bat on it. A 1-2-3 inning for Doney and St. Mary's. Stang is down, and I mentioned nothing but blue skies, bright sun, but it's cold. Nowhere near as cold as it was yesterday's game with Link Classical. Yesterday felt like the temperature was in the 20s, and the wind was really blowing. The flag is still blowing pretty well out in right center field, but it's in the 40s now, so it's not quite as bad, but it certainly isn't baseball weather by any stretch of the imagination. For St. Mary's, Michael DeMano, shortstop, will lead it off. Batting second and playing second, Jaden Driscoll. The pitcher, Josh Doney, will hit number 3. In the cleanup spot is the left fielder, Nate Cotone. Playing center field and batting fifth, Cam McGonigal. Catching and batting sixth is the other half of the Doney family, Kyle. Playing first base and batting seventh is Shane Newhall. The third baseman, Jared Payon, will hit number 8. And the young man in right field who made that terrific catch in the top of this inning, Maxwell Parent, will bring up the tail end of the batting order and bat number 9. Matt Burt. Burt's a name that was well known in the city of Lynn, athletic-wise. But I don't think he's a relative. He's on the mound for Stang. He's throwing to Nolan Donaldson behind the plate. We got a track meet going on over at Manning Field. As usual, both these places going virtually 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We have Fisher College here, and pretty soon we'll have the Navigators here. We don't have 5 high schools anymore because KIPP baseball has combined with Lynn Tech, which was kind of different to see. KIPP was going to have problems getting a team together, so they combined with Tech. So there's only 4 high school teams. Makes it a little easier for Rich Avery, the guy who's the keeper of the keys for the Fraser and Manning. Right off the bat this week, the English had a game canceled on Monday, and right away, Rich Avery had a search to find when he could squeeze them in to make up the game, because there's so many games played here with so many teams. Michael DeMeno, the shortstop, will lead it off. Swing and a miss. Hits the second base. Second baseman Moniz had to go a few steps to his right. Gets it over to the first baseman Cardoza. So both teams start with a ground ball to second base for the first out. High for a ball. In for a strike. Jaden Driscoll, the second baseman, he had a good year as a defenseman for the St. Mary's hockey team that made the state tournament. Pitch broke down the way, he just got the tip of the bat on it, fouled it to the backstop. Hit in the right center field for a base hit, just over the reach of the second baseman Moniz. So Driscoll gets a base hit, becomes the first base runner in the game. A little difficult for Stang. St. Mary's has to travel to Stang as well. It's a long trip. But St. Mary's makes the trip once. Stang has to make the trip here twice, because they have to play St. Mary's and they have to play Bishop Fenwick in Peabody. Stang came into the league, I think it's a few years now, to augment the Catholic Central League. Hit in the right field for a base hit. Driscoll around second, continues on, going to third. They don't get him, he's safe. Doney helps himself with a base hit. Driscoll hustling, gets to third, and it's first and third for the Spartans. And it brings up Nate Coutone, the left fielder, and they're going to run, I think, for Doney. Micah Hashikawa is the runner at first for the pitcher, and they put that in a few years ago. You can run for the pitcher as many times as he gets on base without a penalty to the pitcher or the runner. In for a strike. So Coutone looking to put the ball in play someplace and get a run in and give St. Mary's a jump here in the first inning. The runner takes off. They don't throw it down. So now it's second and third with one out. And Donaldson, the catcher, wants to talk to his pitcher, Burt. That noise you hear is not coming from the crowd because there aren't that many fans here. Stang brought a couple. That noise is coming from the St. Mary's dugout. Swing and a miss. Burt would love to get a strikeout here and not let Catone put the ball in play. Catone looking for it. At least a fly ball or a ground ball to get a run in. Swing and a miss. It's loose. They throw the ball out at the plate. I don't know why he came. Catone struck out. He reached first. Very late start from Driscoll. It would have been bases loaded and one out. Catone was safe. Now it's first and third with two outs. He didn't break right away when the ball got away from the catcher. The throw down, he got a late start. And the first baseman, Cardoza, made a strong throw to Donaldson, the catcher, for an easy out at the plate. Up and away for a ball. This is Cam McGonigal, the center fielder. They're glad to have Cam back. He had an injury last year, missed some time. Chase, that pitch was a little outside and missed it. Low for a ball. Nice stop by the catcher, Donaldson. So that's a tough play. Very late break by Driscoll. And he easily out at the plate. Hit foul as the runner was breaking for second base. Out of play, up in the seats. The runner takes off again. Swung on and missed. So the runner out at the plate. The strikeout, he strikes out two in a row. One that reached, but it turned out well for Stang as the runner was thrown out at the plate. And the last one strikes out. So St. Mary's has a threat. They had first and third with one out. Couldn't get the run home. So we're dead even again. We started dead even. We played an inning. And we're dead even. St. Mary's nothing, Stang nothing at the end of one. As we start the second inning, 4, 5, and 6 for Stang. Pitcher Matt Burt will face pitcher Josh Stoney. Josh thought he might have a lead with first and third and one out, but St. Mary's couldn't get the run home. They had a runner thrown out at the plate. And Burt, the hitter, struck out two. The first strikeout reached, but reaching on the same play, the runner tried to score from third and got thrown out. And then he struck out. Line shot off the glove of the third baseman. Payon reached up, got a glove on it, and it just bounced off his glove. So Burt's got a base hit. First hit, first runner for Stang, leading the second inning. That was a line shot. Probably surprised Payon. It got there in a hurry. He almost made a great play, got the glove on it. Amir Cartagena, the third baseman, is the hitter. That's not the good move by Tony. He did that so the runner would think that was his good move and get a little further off the bag. Decent lead at first base. And now they pick him off. And he's safe. They missed the tag. They had him dead. And they tried to tag him, and they missed the tag. They threw it, and he slid in safely. So Burt gets the stolen base. He got a little further off after that little lob toss, and they picked him off easily, and he beat it. So now Stang has a threat with a runner at second and nobody out. And that's going to be a base hit. They had to wait to see if it would be caught, so the runner is not going to be able to score. But Stang has a threat now. Their first and third is with nobody out. So that negative pickoff cost St. Mary's dearly. Back-to-back hits, first and third. Tommy Gwinetti is the DH. He's hitting for the first baseman, Landon Cardoza. So after St. Mary's threatened and didn't score, here comes Stang, hit in the air to right field. This is deep enough, the runner's going to score. The runner didn't score, he stayed at third. That's unusual. There's an unusual play. The runner at first tagged up. And the runner at third didn't tag. I thought that was ice cream. That was deep enough to bring him home. I don't know. I was watching the runner catch, the outfielder catch, so I don't know if he went too far off the bag and had to go back to tag up. Whatever it was, he didn't come home. So St. Mary's gets a temporary break, as it's now second and third with one out for the catcher, Nolan Donaldson. So that we've had unusual in the bottom of the first and now the top of the second. St. Mary's gets a runner thrown out on a hitter striking out and reaching first. And now a fly ball to right field that's plenty deep enough. And the pitcher, Matt Burt, didn't score. And unusually, the runner from first tags up and goes to second. So that's, you don't see that very often. So second and third with one out for Stang. St. Mary's brings the infield in. Pitch hangs up and away for a ball. Everybody in on the grass except the first baseman. Or I should say the turf. High and away for a ball. Hit right back. Tony caught it. I thought he caught it in the air, but he picked it, and he throws the runner out. So now there's two outs in second and third. And Devin Lord, the shortstop, will be the hitter. So Mary's puts the infield back now. In for a strike. That had a little bit of mustard on it. Hit foul back up in the seats quickly. It's 0-2. So Lord, one swing of the bat from giving Stang a lead. Tony, one strike away from getting out of a tough jam. Up and away for a ball. Hit back again, foul. Lourdes is the number 8 hitter in the lineup. Way up and away for a ball. Line, knocked down. Nice play by Domeno. He got handcuffed to the ball in front of him. He bobbled it, stayed with it, made a strong throw over to Newhall. So both teams threatened. Stang had the better of the threat with first and third and nobody out after that botched pickoff attempt that Burt should have been out. He wound up at third, and then he didn't score on the fly ball from right field, which is really strange. And Stang leaves him at second and third. The runner at first tagged up. The runner at third did not. So it stays 0-0. St. Mary's had the runner thrown out at the plate. Stang should have had the runner thrown out on the pickoff, and that looked like St. Mary's was going to give up at least a run. But for some, I can't imagine why the runner did not score from. It would have taken a monumental throw from Parent. He made a great play in the first inning with a catch, but that would have taken a Herculean throw from right field to throw the runner out. So the only thing I can think of is that the runner must have gone thinking maybe it was a hit, went down the line, and had to go back to tag up and couldn't score. I can't believe he tagged up initially and didn't go. But a break for St. Mary's after Stang got a break. And both pitchers still with the shutout. And for St. Mary's, it'll be 6, 7, and 8. Kyle Doney, Shane Newhall, Jared Payon to face Burt starting his second inning of work. It's cold here today. It was freezing yesterday. I remember during the game yesterday, as the pitch was winding up, the center fielder for Everett, his hat blew off and blew about 5 or 6 feet away from him. And I said, I've yet to see that in a baseball game here at Fraser Field. That's how cold it was yesterday. And it's better. Line shot, just hook foul. Went the other way with it, looked like it was going to be trouble, and just hook foul. Little inside-out swing. Solid shot in the left field for a base hit. So St. Mary's gets the leadoff hitter on. Shane Newhall will be the batter, the first baseman. And when we get a runner, Chase Collins will run for the catcher. So both Tonys get base hits. They both have pinch runners. And that rule I mentioned for the pitcher, it also applies to the catcher. You can run for the catcher as many times as he gets on base. No penalty for the catcher, no penalty for the runner. just got back at first base. I didn't see whether the umpire called a strike or not. Newhouse tried to bunt. The pitch was outside. I don't know if he said he offered. Bunts it foul. So I believe it's 0-2. Yep. Umpire just told Derek Dana, coaching third, 2 strikes. So he did offer for the first pitch. Hit foul back and out of play. Just got back. Good move by Burt to first base. Cardozo with the quick tag, but Collins just got back. Breaks down and in for a ball. Newhouse took a good look at that one because he's got 2 strikes. The runner takes off. The ball's hit slowly to first base. Now they call it off Newhall's foot, so it's a foul ball. That would have been as good as the bunt. The runner was on the move, would have got to second base. But the umpire very quickly said foul ball off the foot of Newhall. So we'll do it again at 1-2. And now Derek Dana wants to talk to his hitter. Very quick conversation. The runner takes off. Got a good pitch to run on. Down and away off the glove of the catcher. So St. Mary's has another runner in scoring position, this time with nobody out. This is inside. Stang wanted that one, but it was inside. From the dugout with the left-handed hitter up, it looked like it was a good pitch on the inside corner, but it just missed. So the count evens at 2. Solid shot, but he got way out in front of it and pulled it foul. That would have been nice for the Spartans if that was fair. So again, 2-2 coming up. Up and away. Newhall, good at bat. Draws a walk. First walk given up by either pitcher. And it's first and second with nobody out for Jared Payon. And let's see if they may be bunting here. Payon looking down at third to coach Derek Dana for a sign. So again, St. Mary's with a threat. They had first and third with 1 out in the first, couldn't score. Now they have first and second with no outs. Pops the bunt out, but Stang can't get to it. Not high enough or far enough for the third baseman, Cartagena. Cartagena closes in a little bit at third. Gets the bunt down. Nice job. Nice job by Payon. The sacrifice goes 1-4. And for the second inning in a row, St. Mary's has second and third with one out. Maxwell Parrott, who made that out, very nice, great catch in right field in the first inning, taking extra bases away from second baseman Moniz of Stang. Now Stang brings their infield in. In for a strike. Top of the order, Michael Domeno on deck. Solid shot to center field coming on. The center fielder makes the play. The runner stayed on the bag, tags up, and he's going to score. So St. Mary's stayed on the bag and tagged. Parent gets it done. So back-to-back sacrifices. The first one moved the runners up. This one gets the run home. Foul ball off Domeno. First inning, Domeno grounded out second to first. Pulls it foul to the first base coach. Down and away. Donaldson had to go chase that one to make sure it didn't go by him. Up and away for the ball. So we got Deuces Wild, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. A runner at second here in the second inning. Deuces all over the place. Swing and a miss, he gets him. But not before the 2 sacrifices. One's to move the runners up. One's to bring the runner home. So the walk hurt. Single stolen base, the walk. The sacrifice moves them up. The sacrifice fly by Parent brings the run in. And we play 2 in this Catholic Central League battle here at Fraser Field. And St. Mary's has grabbed a 1-0 lead over Bishop Stang. It'll be 9-1-2 for Stang as we start the top of the third inning. Bobby Rooney, the center fielder, leads it off against Josh Toney. Good fastball for a strike. It's amazing how these 2 Doneys have been pitcher-catcher for so very long. Through Little League, through high school. Hooks up and away for a ball. Kyle's going to miss him when he gets behind the plate and has other people pitching next year. Started to pull the trigger, held up, the pitch was up and away. Top of the order on deck for Stang. Missing wide for a ball. In for a strike, taking all the way. The count goes full. Looks like that track meet is over at Manning Field. Hit foul, kicks out down the first baseline. And we'll do it again at 3-2. Comes back and gets him. First strikeout for Downey. Leads off the third inning. Harry Tingley Prince hit the first pitch of the game to the second baseman, Driscoll, and got thrown out. Good curveball for a strike. That one breaks down and away. Evens the count. Tony had some very big wins last year for St. Mary's as they went to the state final. One game away from a championship. Hit. Driscoll can't make the play. Made a great job going way to his right. That was going into center field for a base hit. He went way to his right to pick it, but he couldn't make the play. Prince gets that base hit. He's at first, representing the tying run. Nate Moniz had extra bases taken away on a great play by Maxwell Parent. Hit a shot to right field. Parent caught it run over his head, one-handed going away from home plate. So 1 out, 1 on here in the third. Downey and Newhall playing catch, trying to pick Prince off at first base. Up and away for a ball. In for a strike. Almost took a step off. Another step off. He just got back, Prince did, with that pickoff. Coach Rose for Bishop Stang is a Red Sox. He got picked by the Sox, had a stint, fouled off the catcher. And I talked to him about how I had Red Sox ties with my father announcing there. And I have ties with the assistant coach. I didn't get his name. The assistant coach, baseball, is the girls hockey coach. And he came up to me and said, I recognize you. You did my game when I played St. Mary's. And he paid me a great compliment. I appreciate that. I had a little discussion with Rose about the Red Sox. Thought about it and then had to back away. It broke inside. Prince is getting a workout at first base, diving back. He'll take a lot of the Frazier Field turf back with him when he goes home. Great play by Driscoll at second base. That's an outstanding play. Moniz gets a base hit. Prince goes to second. Prince was off and running on the pitch. Driscoll went to cover second base. The ground ball looked like it was going into right field. Driscoll, reacting, came back, went way to his left, picked it, and made a good throw to the third baseman Payon, and they cut Prince down at third base. Now it's the other Doney trying to pick the runner off at first, the catcher, Kyle. But what a great play by Driscoll. He was going to second base to cover with the runner going. He stopped, reversed, went a step or two out to the outfield grass or turf, and spinning made the one hop throw to third base. Payon laid the glove down and tagged Prince coming in at third, and they cut the runner down. So what a great play. So we had Parrott with the catch in right field. Now we have Driscoll with the play at second base. The runner takes off. The ball's hit. This time the shortstop. Safe at first base. That was basically the same play. Taylor gets an infield hit. Moniz was off and running. DeMano was going to cover second base. The ball was hit the shortstop. He got it, made the throw, but couldn't knock the runner down. So it's first and second with two outs, and Matt Burt can help himself. He got a base hit his first time at bat and made it to third base. He was lucky to make it to third base. He got picked off. He was out way off the base. They picked him off, but they missed the tag, and he was safe at second base. Wide for ball two. So it's been a bizarre first couple of innings for both teams. High for a ball. Safe at first on the pickoff. Newell was off the bag with the runner at second, so the runner at first got a little bigger lead. Newell trying to sneak in behind. Hit in the air to center field. That's deep. It's going to be over the head of McGonigal all the way back to the fence. 2 runs are going to score. The ball got away from the shortstop, and it winds up a home run. Burt, the pitcher, helps himself. He hit that to the deepest part of the ballpark. So a big 3 RBI, 2 out home run to the deepest part of the ballpark. In for a strike. the runners score easily. They were off and running with 2 outs. And Matt Burt, the pitcher, certainly helped himself. And now Cartagena gets hit. So it looked like Samir was getting out of trouble with that great play by Driscoll. But then Moniz and Taylor get back-to-back hits. Both of them infield hits. And there's another base hit into right field. You can see why this team is 4-0. And we're going to get warm-up action. Jacob Peterson and Jack Zimmerman have gone down to the bullpen. And we get, I think it's Jimmy Fowler coming out to the mound. So all of a sudden, there was a strikeout, a base hit, but then the big play by Driscoll looked like St. Mary's was going to get out of the inning as they threw Prince out trying to go to third. So it was 2 outs with a runner at first. But then almost the exact same thing, an infield hit. It was Driscoll going to second to cover with the runner going, but made the play and threw the runner out of third. And then Taylor, with the runner going, hit a ground ball to short. Tomeno was going to cover second, and he had to go back and get the ball and couldn't make the play at first. And that extended the inning. And then Burt hit a rocket over the center fielder's head all the way back to the fence in dead center field and made it all the way around for a 3-run home run. Nolan Donaldson, the catcher, is the 8th hitter in the inning. After that play, they've had 6 straight base hits. Great play by Domeno. That ball just creeped to the shortstop, and he caught it, one motion, threw the runner out. Great play to end the inning. But after the strikeout, 6 straight base hits. One of those base hits was thrown out at third base when it looked like the ball was going into right field and was picked off by Driscoll. But then they got 5 more straight base hits. The big one, the 3-run home run by Burt, the pitcher. And Stang gets on the board in pretty good fashion with 6 hits. Actually 5 hits. There was a hit batsman. And it took a great play by Domeno to end the inning. So now St. Mary's, after leading 1-0, find themselves on the short end. Doney had 9 straight shutout innings broken with this big 3rd inning by Stang. And now it'll be 2, 3, and 4 for St. Mary's. So Burt now taking the mound for the first time has a lead. And he's been in trouble both innings, but got out of the first inning. And a walk hurt him in the second inning, giving up the run. But got out of it with a strikeout to end the inning. So St. Mary's has had base runners, but they only have 1 run. So it'll be Jaden Driscoll, Josh Stoney, Nate Catone trying to get St. Mary's back in this one in the bottom of the third inning. We mentioned both teams trying to stay undefeated. St. Mary's 2-0, Stang 4-0. But the pitcher, Burt, truly helped himself with that shot to center field. Keeping it in the ballpark, you can't hit it any further than that. Jaden Driscoll got a base hit, made it to third base, and then he tried to score when Catone struck out. And they had to throw Catone out of first. They missed it. Catone was safe, but Driscoll got thrown out of the plate trying to score on the play. He made that great play at second base. Curveball drops in for a strike. So he made a big defensive play, and he's 1 for 1 at the plate. I think they said he got a piece and fouled it off. I don't know if it hit the plate or his bat. Hit, picked off by the third baseman. That's a nice play. Goes to the shortstop. It would have been a tougher play. But the third baseman, Cartagena, gets it over to Cardoza. And there's one up and one down. Josh Stoney got a base hit. He made it as far as third base. That one drops down and in for a ball. Down and in for a ball. Main field is busy. It's not track like track is over. Looks like somebody kicking a soccer ball. Got to be just people getting some work in. Hit back to the pitcher. So pitcher to pitcher. Burt will throw Doney out. 2 up, 2 down in the third. Nate Catone was involved in that play. He struck out. The ball went off the catcher's glove. He took off for first. He beat the throw to first. But on the same play, Driscoll tried to score from third and got thrown out of the plate. In for a strike. Burt's got to feel a little bit easier now pitching with that 3-1 lead. Good curveball, catches the inside corner. Has to be a little better considering it was his 3-run homer that gave him the edge. Down and in for a ball. Missing low for a ball. So Deuces Wild, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. St. Mary's trailing by 2. Hit solidly right to the shortstop. Ward with the nice play over Cardozo, who gets his third put out in the inning. So 1-2-3 inning on 3 ground balls. First 1-2-3 inning for Burt. Comes after his 3-run homer. Gave his team a 3-1 lead. We played 3 complete. Stang now leading St. Mary's 3-1, and it looks like we're going to have a pitching change. Jacob Peterson will be the new pitcher. He had a very good season in football. And he was a big part of the St. Mary's going to the state final last year on the mound. He got some big wins. Curveball just missed inside. So Doney goes 3 innings. Gave up 8 hits. Struck out 1 and hit a batter. Six of those hits came in the 3rd inning. Hit in the air, coming on the right fielder. Parrott makes the play. That was Devin Lord, the shortstop, leading off, as it's 8-9-1 for Stang. Bobby Rooney was the strikeout victim by Doney. And he led off the 3rd inning. Lord, who just flied out, was the only hitter that didn't bat in the 3rd inning. Stanks had 8 to the plate. Six of them reached, but one was thrown out trying to go to 3rd. 6 hits and a hit batsman. Just missed outside. Ran up like trying to bunt, missed the pitch. Rooney is the center fielder for Stang. Way wide for a ball. Swing and a miss for strike 3. Two up, 2 down for Harry Tingley Prince. He got the first hit in the 3rd inning, but then the ground ball by Moniz looked like it was going into right field. He figured he would go to 3rd base. Driscoll made a great play, starting way to his right, then reversed, came back to his left, fielded the ball and threw him out at 3rd base. Otherwise, that would have been a bigger inning for Stang. He grounded out 2nd and 1st, hitting the first pitch of the game. Chased that pitch that was down in the turf. So that was very unusual. Doney usually has a very good outing. Sliced up in the seats. A couple of the fans had to duck out of the way. Punch foul down the first base side, right to the coach. Peterson delivers. Hit foul again. Prince hanging around. Prince is the right fielder for Stang. High for a ball. Hit off his foot, foul. Checking on Prince. He's limping a little bit. That hurt. I don't know if he got it on the ankle. They're checking on him. He's bouncing around. He says he's okay, but he's still feeling it. So he's going to stay in. Hits it foul again. He's hanging around. Whatever he does, this has been a good at bat. He's been fouling pitches off. Peterson finally gets him. He gets 2 strikeouts in the inning. They're probably thinking it's just as well. He doesn't want to. You don't want to hit the ball and have to run the bases or go down to first base. He's still limping a little bit going to the dugout. So we're halfway through the ball game with Stang on top of St. Mary's 3-1. It'll be 5, 6, and 7 for the Spartans. And Prince is going gingerly, almost limping out to right field. Burt will start his 4th inning of work. He's given up 3 base hits and a walk. The walk hurt because it extended the inning after a leadoff single, and that's the inning that St. Mary scored the run. The walk and the hit put runners at first and second, a sacrifice by Payon, and then the sacrifice fly by Maxwell Parents gave St. Mary's that 1-0 lead, and then the barrage of hits, the big one, the 3-run home run by Matt Burt to the deepest part of the ballpark in center field, turned the tide for the Stang. And it's now 3-1 as we go into the bottom of the 4th inning. Cameron McGonigal struck out swinging his 1 trip. That's left, throws right. Solid shot to right field. A couple of steps to his left. They made it look easy. That was a shot and a half. And Prince, who we talked about, just got hit and was limping a little bit. He made that look easy. Took 2 steps to his left, reached out, picked it. You can't hit it any better than McGonigal just did. A solid shot, and Prince made it look like an easy out. Caldoni got a base hit, and Chase Collins running for him scored the 1 run. Curveball's in for a strike. Dropped over the head of the pitcher into center field for a base hit. Tony's 2 for 2. And they're going to run for him again, I believe. Collins will run for him again. Shane Newhall had a long at bat, tried to bunt a couple of times. He wound up drawing a walk, and it was big because it moved the runner over to second, and the runner eventually scored the one run. The run gets away, and the error will move the runner to second base. The pickoff throw in the turf, it bounced away, and Collins shoots over to second base. They would love to get him in to close the gap here. High for a ball. That's a base hit. They hold the runner at third. So first and third for the Spartans. That's going to bring a trip out to the mound. There's no warm-up action, so I don't know. I don't think they're going to do anything except talk to Burt. But now first and third, Jared Payon got a perfect sacrifice down. We're going to run for Newhall at first base. Jack States. So now the tying runs are on. And how big is that play on that line shot by McGonigal now? To start the inning, Prince picked that off in right field. Collins held up a little bit because the ball was hitting the air to center field to wait and see if the center fielder could make the play. And then down by 2 runs, you're not going to send the runner home. They hold him up at third, but Newhall winds up at first. Spates running for him. First and third for Jared Payon, the third baseman. So this will be a big run to get home, as I mentioned, to try and close the gap. Third baseman is way in at third. I don't know if they think they're going to try and squeeze him home. High for a ball. I don't know why you would think St. Mary was a butt in this case, but he's squeezing way in at third. They turned like they're going to throw to third. There's no play at third. The third baseman's nowhere near the bag. It was hoping that the first runner at first would think they were throwing and get off the bag. Obviously, it didn't work. Low for a ball. Thought about it, just held up. And it's 2-0. Diving back at first is Spates. High and tight. They throw the ball down. It goes into center field. The run's going to score. So Spates gets a stolen base. The second baseman got out of the way to let the shortstop take the throw, and the shortstop thought the second baseman was going to catch it. It went into center field. So the error on the catcher brings the run home. It's 3-2, and the tying run is at second base with 1 out. in for a strike. So another bizarre play. And if the runner didn't slide into second base, he would have gone to third with the ball going into the center field. Wide for a ball. Payon draws a walk. Second walk given up by Burt. And J.J. Avery is going to run for Payon. So first and second with one out for Maxwell Parrott. With the top of the order, Michael Domeno on deck. So don't go away. This one's not over. Solid shot. Got way out in front of it and pulled it past. Derek Dana had to get out of the way of that one at coaching third. Catches the outside corner for a strike. Little curveball. Quickly 0-2. Hit to third. Step on the bag. Can't make the play at first. Did they call him safe at third base? St. Mary's scoring. I'm not sure what just happened. They called him out at third base. I think they thought it was him. He came running home. They threw the ball home. The ball got away and a run scored. Domeno, solid shot to center field, backing up. He started to come on. Staying with it, the center field, and Rooney made the play. But that's a bizarre inning. They get put out at third base. The runner comes all the way around and scores. And we don't have a scoreboard, and I don't have anybody telling me what's going on, but I think St. Mary's got two in the inning and have tied the game up. The runner went to second base, Payon. The third baseman tagged the bag for the out, threw the ball to first. It got away from the first baseman. The runner, who was out at third, came home, and they threw the ball home. It got away, and the runner came around to score. And we have a 3-3 game. So after 4, dead even, 3-3. What a bizarre inning that was. A solid shot by McGonigal was picked by the right fielder. Calzone got a base hit. Collins running for him. What's the second? On a pickoff. What's the third on Newhall's base hit? a walk, a steal of second, the ball thrown into center field. Collins scores. Parent hits it to third. They tag the bag for an out. They look to make the double play. The ball gets thrown away. The runner that was out kept going home. They threw the ball home, threw it away. And the runner that went to second came around. He scored. Parent wound up at second base. And St. Mary's tied the game up. I think we don't have the scoreboard working, and we don't have an official scorer, and it was just people running the bases. And it's been bizarre the entire game. Swing and a miss for strike three. Nate Mona is the second baseman. He had a hit taken away on a great play by Parent. He got a base hit and scored a run, scoring on Burt's 3-run home run. Now he strikes out against Peterson, who's come on and got 4 outs, 3 of them strikeouts. Drew Taylor bounced to the pitcher, and he had an infield hit that extended the inning and allowed Burt to bat, and Burt hit a 3-run home run. What a bizarre inning. High for a ball. 2 infield hits, 1 great play by Driscoll, took one away when he threw the runner out at third. Then the infield hit to shortstop. Domeno couldn't make the play. Newhall will make the play by himself at first base. But this is why a long time ago, I've been doing this for a long time, and a long time ago I said, I stopped saying when a bizarre play would happen that I would say, now I've seen it all. Because every time I said that, something else bizarre happened. In for a strike. It's hard to describe what happened in the bottom of the 4th for St. Mary's. Swing and a miss. Burt's the hitter. He singled his first time up and hit a 3-run home run and gave himself on the mound a 3-1 lead. And that bizarre 4th inning has got St. Mary's back in the game. Thought about it, it broke up and away, and he held up. Hit in the air, Newhall with a long run, can't get there. Wasn't hit quite high enough to give him time to get there. So Peterson delivers. High for a ball. Solid shot to left field coming on, now backing up and makes the play again. The left fielder, Catone, he was there. Easy catch coming in. All of a sudden, it's not coming in. He's got to go get it. He's got to back up, and he wound up going back from home plate over the shoulder, over his head, making a one-handed catch. You can't get more bizarre than this game. Peterson, with that great play by Catone, gets his second 1-2-3 inning in relief. He shut Stang down since coming on. It'll be 2, 3, and 4 for St. Mary's as we start the bottom of the fifth inning. And it's just, if you write this in a book, people wouldn't believe it. I mean, it looked like in that fourth inning that the third baseman, Cartagena, had the easy double play. Picked the ball, touched third base, throwing to third to get the double play to end the inning. But it got bounced away, and the runner that went to third, I don't know why he thought he wasn't out. He broke for the plate. The third baseman chased the ball down, threw the ball home. It got by, and the runner that started at first base came all the way around to score. Jaden Driscoll got a base hit and bounced out third to first and made an outstanding defensive play at second base. He'll lead it off. In for a strike. Solid shot, but right at the shortstop. Nice stretch by Cardozo at second base to get the throw from Devin Lord. Driscoll hit it well, but he hit it right at the shortstop. So 1 up, 1 down in the fifth. Jacob Peterson will hit for the first time. He came in relief for Josh Toney. Toney had a base hit and bounced to the pitcher in his 2 trips. High for a ball. Mentioned he had a very good football season. Just catches the inside corner with the curveball. Hit off the pitcher. Burt will make the play. He found it. It was going up the middle for a base hit. It hit Burt on the foot, and it bounced out in front of him. And he was able to locate it and throw Peterson out. So Peterson hit it well enough to get a base hit, but Burt makes the play. And it's 2 up and 2 down. Nick Catone was involved in that weird play in the first inning. He struck out, the ball got away from the catcher. They threw it down. He beat the throw to first. But while he beat the throw to first, the runner from third tried to score and got thrown out. One of those many bizarre plays we've had in this game. Solid shot in the right field. That's a base hit. In the gap, all the way back to the fence. That's going to be a triple. In with a stand-up triple. The only saving grace for Bishop Stang is there's 2 outs. So Cam McGonigal struck out swinging the first time. Last time up, he hit a shot that the right fielder took 2 steps to his left and picked it. Pops it up, long run for the third baseman, gets there and makes the play. So the triple goes by the boards. So we started the game dead even. Stang took a 3-1 lead. St. Mary's tied it up. We played 5 and we're dead even again. St. Mary's 3, Stang 3, going into the 6th inning. Amir Cartagena, the third baseman for Stang, will lead off the 6th inning. He got a base hit and got hit by a pitch. So he's been on base twice. He's facing Peterson for the first time. Down and away for a ball. I think they're giving Cotone a rest after that triple. In for a strike. Micah Hashikawa is in left field for St. Mary's. Hit foul at home plate, and the count goes 1-2. Foul off to the left side. Stays 1-2. Tony thought he had strike 3. St. Mary's thought he had strike 3. Umpire said ball 2. Brings a lot of moan and groans from the St. Mary's side. Hit foul again at the plate. Gina was involved in a play where it tagged third, throw the ball to first for inning double play, but the throw was wide at first base. St. Mary's wound up getting a wacky run to tie the game up. And that hurt St. Mary's. They thought they had strike 3. Cartagena gets the second hit. He's on base for the 3rd time. He represents the go-ahead run. Tommy Gwinnett flied to right and singled. He was one of those 6 hits in the 3rd inning when Stang got their 3 runs. That's the first hitter to reach against Peterson. He retired 6 in a row. He struck out 3 of the first 4 he faced. Now Stang has the go-ahead run at first with nobody out here in the 6th inning. Solid shot, but he got out front and pulled it. He hit that a ton. And pulled it well foul. Missed inside. I don't envy the Lynn Tech baseball team. They're playing a game at 7 o'clock, and it's going to be a lot colder. It's chilly now. It's bearable considering what it was yesterday. Hit the shot. They don't have a play. Domeno stopped it from going in the outfield. Had no play anywhere. And Stang has first and second with nobody out for Nolan Donaldson, who's bounced to the pitcher and bounced the shot. He's the Stang catcher. So Stang with a threat. Tries the bunt. Missed it for strike one. Everybody moving. Payon charging. Newhall charging. Domeno going to third. Driscoll going to first. Everybody in the infield moving. So Stang's bench has come to life with a rally, along with their fans. The few that are here made the long trip. Down the way for a ball. And Derek Dane is going to go out and talk to his pitcher. They thought they had strike three on Cartagena, and the umpire said ball two. And Cartagena made it worse, getting a base hit. Now we're going to get warm-up action for St. Mary's. Devin Lord, the shortstop, is the on-deck hitter. The bottom of the order, Donaldson is the number 7 hitter. But there's 2 on with nobody out. He's trying to keep the runners close, steps off. They throw it down. Driscoll wasn't very close to second base. They really didn't make a play. Again, they're just trying to keep the runner close. Newhall, everybody charging. Safe. They went to third to try and make the play, and they don't get it. So the bases are loaded. Everybody came in, Newhall fielded it. They really didn't have a play at third. Bubba Garcia is running for the catcher. So the bases are loaded with nobody out in a 3-3 game. St. Mary's brings the infield in. Lord has grounded a short and fly to right. Pops it straight up. Automatic out. Infield fly. Domeno will make the play. A big out, but they need 2 more. Bobby Rooney, the hitter, has struck out twice. Once to Doney, once to Peterson. St. Mary's moves the infield back, looking for a possible double play. Up and away for a ball. Missing again, 2-0. Peterson working quickly. Hit in the air, that's going to be out of play. Into the St. Mary's bench area. Count goes 2-1. Peterson and St. Mary's would love a strikeout here. Stang just wants Rooney to put the ball in play someplace and get a run in, break the 3-3 tie. This is wide for a ball. St. Mary's wanted that one. Peterson wanted that one. Got to come in with a pitch. Here we go. Big pitch coming up. Full count, 3-2. The bases loaded. Fans on both sides holding their breath. Swing and a miss for strike 3. The beat goes on in this game. Derek Dana coming out. Henry Tingley Prince. The last chance here in the 6th for Stang with the bases loaded and 2 outs. He is grounded to second, singles, and he was the one that, with the infield hit, tried to go to third and got thrown out. And then he struck out the last time up, and Peterson is coming out. Peterson goes 2 1/3 innings. 2 2/3 innings. Two hits. 4 strikeouts. He's responsible for the runners on base. And Jack Zimmerman is going to be the new pitcher. He just pitched the game against Williams here and got the win, going 6 innings. And Peterson came in and got the last 3 outs. Now Zimmerman's coming in to try and get St. Mary's off the hook. 2 straight hits and a sacrifice that was safe at third base. When they tried to get the force at third, they didn't get it. It loaded the bases. And infield pop up and a big strikeout. And now Zimmerman will try to get the third out. So here we go. Both teams trying to keep 0 in the loss column. St. Mary's 2-0, Stang 4-0. Stang with an opportunity. They led 3-1. St. Mary's tied it up. Now Stang with a chance. Quickly in for a strike. Lefty against lefty here. Swing and a miss. Quickly 0-2. Prince 1 swing in the bat from giving Stang a lead. Zimmerman 1 strike away from getting out of a big hole. Hit in the air. Third baseman calls everybody off. St. Mary's beats the odds as Prince pops up to the third baseman. Payon making the play. That's going to take some of the wind out of the sails of Stang. They look golden. Bases loaded. Nobody out. So Peterson goes 2 2/3 inning, gives up 2 base hits, strikes out 3. gets off the hook. Zimmerman comes in and gets the third out. Doney went the first first three. Gave up 3 runs on 8 hits. Walked, got a strikeout and a hit batsman. He's off the hook. Peterson is off the hook. And we got Cam McGonigal in center field and now going out to loosen up if he's needed. St. Mary's will have 6, 7, and 8. Kyle Doney is 2 for 2. And both times running for him, Chase Collins scored the 1 run they had initially. And Burt will start his 6th inning of work. So it looked like Stang was going to get the lead back. 3 on, nobody out. Peterson gets a pop-up to the infield, gets a big swinging strikeout. Zimmerman comes on, gets an infield pop-up. And Stang is shut down, and the score is still 3-3 here in the bottom of the 6th. And St. Mary's would love to score a run here and take the lead going into the 7th inning. Tony almost got hit. People lean into that one, help the team get hit. Over his head, 2-0. Time is called as the ball gets loose coming out of the bullpen. Stang's got warm-up action down there. Three and 0. Doney will look at least 1, maybe 2, trying to become a base runner. On 4 pitches, Doney draws the 3rd walk. And walks have hurt Burt. 1 walk extended the inning and allowed St. Mary's to score the first run that gave them the early lead. The other walk was the run that Bazaar scored in the 4th inning, came all the way around the score when everybody running all over the bases. So let's see if Shea Newhall bunts here. He's walked and singled. Collins again running at first. Gets the bunt down. And they throw it away. They're going to send the runner home. And the run is going to score. He got the perfect bunt down. And they threw it away down the right field line. And Collins running for Doney. Scoots all the way around and breaks the tie. You look at this. If you're staying in the dugout, Stang fans, you're shaking your head saying, what happened in the 6th inning? St. Mary's see Stang load the bases with nobody out, and they don't score. Stang comes back, a walk. Again, the walk hurts. All 3 walks have hurt. Newhall gets the bunt down. They have the play at first. They throw it away. The run scores to break the tie. Newhall winds up at 3rd base. And Jared Payon, who was sacrificed, and he walked and he scored that wacky run that tied the game up. Stang will bring the infield in. Hit in the air, long run for the catcher, first baseman. Cardoza makes the nice play. If this holds up, it's going to be a most horrible ride back for Stang. And it's a long ride. It's probably a couple of hours. They're going to have a long time to think about this if this holds up. Down and away for a ball. Maxwell Parent hit a sacrifice fly knocking in the first run, and he reached his ground ball to third was the one that was thrown away that allowed all that base running to allow the tying run to score in that fourth inning. He'd love to put it in play and get that runner home from third. Missing for ball 3. Top of the order, Michael Domeno on deck. In for a strike, taking all the way. He can still be fussy here. It's got to be a good pitch he can handle. Parrott, the right fielder, made a great defensive play earlier. Hit, ground ball, scooped up by the second baseman, then they throw it away. He bounced it to the catcher. Errors in the inning. Mona's made a great, that looked like a base hit into right center field. He picked it. He threw it home and bounced it in front of the catcher. You can't write a script like this. Absolutely incredible. Stang giving this one away. Missing for ball 1. A walk and 2 errors in the inning. St. Mary's has scored 2, and they're leading 5-3. High for a ball. Domeno was grounded to second, struck out swinging, and hit a shot to center field deep, but Rooney went back and made the play. Hit to short. Off the shortstop, the runner's going to score. Domeno gets a base hit and an RBI. Off the shortstop's glove, just a couple of feet away. They throw it home. Stang coach thought the runner was out, but he was safe. Great hustle by Parent to score. And that's going to be it for Burt, as we'll get a new pitcher coming in. Ethan Cleveland will be the new pitcher for Stang. So Burt goes 5 1/3 innings. Gives up 5 runs. The runner takes off, throw is high. Domeno steals second. He gave up 7 hits, but the runs, errors, he walked 3. And all 3 walks hurt him in 3 different ways. But errors here have killed Stang. In for a strike. Caden Driscoll singled, bounced to third, bounced to short. The bouncer shot was a solid shot that was right at the shortstop. The runner takes off for third, and he steals third. He was getting a lead. The pitcher just looked away from him, and he just took off. Domeno steals third. So they bring the infield back in again, trying to cut off the run. Swing and a miss. He gets Driscoll. That's a big strikeout. Jack Zimmerman, who came in to pitch, got the one hitter out he had to face. He's now hitting. Doney was hitting in the 4th spot. Peterson came in relief, batted once. Now Zimmerman's hitting in the number 4 spot. He's the pitcher of record now. He could get the win. Backing away, inside out swing, fouled it off the screen. Low for a ball, nice stop by Donaldson, the catcher. In for strike 3. So this bizarre inning is finally over, but St. Mary's breaks the tie. They get 1 hit in the inning, and they scored 3 runs. As we move into the 7th inning, at the end of 6, St. Mary's has a 6-3 lead over Bishop Stang. So here we go with the 7th inning. It'll be 2, 3, and 4 for Stang. And they need 3 to tie. The last place you want to be is on the bus ride back to Stang if they lose this game. Especially the way they lost it. They've given it away. Slice to right, coming on. Parrott makes the play. Money's hit it. That's twice he's hit the ball well, and twice Parrott took it away. Zimmerman got the win here Friday, this being Wednesday, so he has a chance to get 2 wins in less than a week. In for a strike. Drew Taylor bounced to the pitcher, got an infield hit, scored a run, and bounced unassisted to the first baseman, Newhall. Just missed outside. Down and in, 2-1. Hit to center field, coming over. I think that's Doney out in center field now. That's not McGonigal. Covered a lot of ground, made the play. 2 solid shots, and Stang has 2 outs. And Matt Bird is re-entering. He was the pitcher that they took out, brought Cleveland in, and now Burt will come back in and hit. He has singled, hit the 3-run home run to give his team the 3-1 lead. And then he flied out to left field, a solid shot to left field that Cotone backed up and made a catch over the shoulder, one-handed. And that hits him. It'll bring up Amir Cartagena, who's been on base 3 times, 2 hits. Sam was in between, he got hit by a pitch. He's got to get on to bring the tying run to home plate. So Zimmerman had retired 3 in a row, got the last out in the 6th, got the first 2 in the 7th on 2 solid shots. Hit in the air. Center fielder coming on, makes the play. And in a bizarre game here at Frazier Field, St. Mary's is going to go to 3-0 with a 6-3 win. Zimmerman will get his 2nd win in less than a week. And again, it's going to be a very miserable bus ride back to Stang as they gave it away. St. Mary's threatened in the 1st. In the 2nd, they got Doney a base hit. Kyle Doney. He stole 2nd. Shane Newhall drew a walk. A sacrifice moved the runners up. A sacrifice fly brought Collins in, who was running for Doney, and it was 1-0. St. Mary's. Stang had a big 3rd inning after a strikeout. Prince got a base hit. Moniz hit a little ground ball, looked like it was going into right field. Prince thought he could go to 3rd. Driscoll made a great play, reversing, going back, getting the ball, throwing Prince out at 3rd. So it looked like St. Mary's was going to get out of the inning. But then Moniz almost duplicated. He got an infield hit to shortstop. They couldn't make a play. Runners were safe. Taylor got an infield hit. Matt Burt hit a shot, the deepest part of the ballpark you can hit it to without going out of the ballpark. Dead center field. 3-run home run made it 3-1. St. Mary's. In a bizarre 4th inning, after McGonagall hit a rocket to right field that was picked by Prince, Caldoni got his 2nd hit. Collins running for him, went to 2nd when they tried to pick him off and threw it away. Newhall got a base hit to put runners at 1st and 3rd. Newhall stole 2nd. 2nd and 3rd, a walk to Payon. A ground ball to 3rd. They tagged 3rd for the force. They threw to 1st to get the double play to try and end the inning. They threw it away. The runner at 3rd didn't think he was out. He kept running to home. They threw the ball home. It got away from the catcher. Jared Payon, who drew the walk and was at first base, came all the way around to score. And that was the 2nd run in the inning. After they scored a run, when they had the 1st and 2nd, 1st and 3rd, they threw the ball to 2nd on an attempted steal. The ball went into center field. The runner from 3rd scored. And at the end of the 4th, it was tied 3-3. It looked like Stang was back in the lead again. Cartagena got a base hit. Gwinnett got a base hit. A sacrifice by Donaldson. The throw was late to 3rd. The bases loaded and nobody out. Peterson got an infield pop-up to Domeno. He got a strikeout. Zimmerman came on and got an infield pop-up to the 3rd baseman. No run score on bases loaded and nobody out. And then up comes the bottom of the 6th. Caldoni draws a walk. Running for him, Collins again. Newhall lays down the bunt. They throw it away. Collins comes all the way around to score. Newhall goes all the way to 3rd after an out. Parrott grounds the ball to 2nd base. They throw the ball, they short hop it to the catcher. The runner coming from 2nd scores. Parrott makes it 6-3, and that was the final score. You can't write a script like that. This is probably the most bizarre game I have ever seen, and St. Mary's pulls it out as Stang gives it away. As St. Mary's wins it by a score of 6-3, they'll go to 3-0. Stang will go to 4-1. For St. Mary's, Domeno had a base hit and an RBI. Driscoll had a base hit, made a terrific defensive play. Peterson came on in relief of Doney and did a great job. Doney also had a base hit. Catone had a triple, made a great catch in left field. Cal Doney was on base 3 times with 2 hits and a walk. Collins, running for him, scored 3 times. Shea Newell had a walk, a single, laid down a perfect bunt, reached on an error, and wound up scoring a run. Jared Payon had a sacrifice that helped set up the first run, walked, and his base running got the run that tied the game at 3. Maxwell Parent had a sacrifice fly that knocked in the first run. He reached on an error, and then he reached on an error in the last inning that brought in the 3rd run, and St. Mary's wound up scoring 3 runs in the 6th inning on 1 hit, and it was an infield hit. And they break the 3-3 tie, and they win it 6-3 to go 3-0 and give Stang their first loss of the season. So Peterson came on in relief, did a nice job, ran into a little bit of trouble, then came strong, got 2 big outs with the bases loaded. Zimmerman got the last out, and then Zimmerman finishes the game, gets his 2nd win in less than a week, and St. Mary's stays perfect, 3-0, with a bizarre win over Bishop Stang. And again, the last place you want to be is on the bus riding back with Stang after this bizarre game, and they gave it away. So 6-3, St. Mary's with the big win here at Fraser. We hope you enjoyed it. I'm Don Hoffman saying we'll see you next time.